Mhm. I always wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to make art. It wasn't even a matter of wanting, really. It was just that I did it. And I never stopped. Sometimes life can be cruel. Sometimes life can be rad. Sometimes art imitates life. And everything in between. So, these days, I'm trying harder and harder to smell the flowers, to open my heart, and to really truly open my mind, and realize how much of a pain in the ass I've been. To myself and many others. I'm a walking contradiction, a self-righteous, narcissistic hypocrite, an egomaniacal maniac. I'll take D, all of the above. How about that? But I know I can be better. You know, I know I can do better. And I think, therefore, I am. So I'm sitting here finishing this doodle that turned into a bigger doodle. I think I just broke my nose. And it's actually a self-portrait. It's like a blob. Oh, sorry, I had my lips against the back of this thing for some reason. Hi, everybody. I don't know why I'm doing this too. Hold on. Ow. 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 That's better. Okay. Now that we're all on the same bandwidth, I can play the theme song. Alright. Welcome to Storie Grubb Draws. That was the new theme song I'm working on. The other one I was working on, maybe you guys could vote, like 1 or 2, or like the first one, the second one. The first one goes like this. Right? And the second one goes like this. A little bit more of a at the end. I don't have words yet. I save that for when I go on vacation. I go on vacation in other countries and I write down what tourists say. Only the English-speaking ones, because I can't speak, for example, I can't speak like Portuguese, German. I guess it'd be easier. It'd be easier to just say that I only speak English. That's easier than probably saying all of the languages, all other languages, including my own, because I'm a crash test dummy, my friends. I was built to spill, and I wag that dog as often as I can. I don't know what I'm doing or who I am anymore. I guess it's true that I never did know who I was, and it wasn't until now that I really even gave a shit. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, I believe in Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. And I would know. I have a gigantic swimming pool in my backyard, and she's swimming in it right now. I would show you, but it's not worth the trouble. You wouldn't believe it if you saw it. Isn't that right, Ness? Yeah, she's looking in there right now. Oh, she's so cute. You ready? Yeah, those teeth. She has really big, crazy sharp teeth. So I wanted to finish this drawing. I'm trying to finish it, but it's hard because I want to just keep adding all these little details and stuff. He's got a toupee on. Move on, people. Okay, it's not like you've never worn one. And I'm also wearing fake armpit hair as well. But that's just to appear macho, and to like kind of, you know, offer my services to your kind. You know, the ones that are better than everybody else. Because I never was better than anybody else, nor did I ever want to be, nor would I ever make fun of anybody for the way they look, except for myself. And I'd be the first to admit that I have a big-ass Tupperware thing over there of wigs if you want to see it. Otherwise, we can just go play marbles in the streets and I'll beat your ass. Alright, them's fighting words. I'm just kidding. I love you, I'm just playing. It must be your first time here if you're talking about the wig. Holy moly. Get on with it. Get busy living or get busy trying. I don't know what that means. There. Welcome to the club. Now go away or stay. Hey, 13, my lucky number. But I don't care as long as the cool ones stick around. Because you're the ones that get it. All those other normies aren't gonna get it. And I'm here to tell you that you're not just another normie. You're a weirdo just like the rest. I'm not talking to anybody in particular. I'm just talking in generalities. Baby. What? I can't read that. What's up, Blue? It's not a toupee. It's my friend. It is. It's my pet. It's my pet snake, Reggie. I have hair. I don't need your kind. Ew, that's disgusting, Kay. Taking shit so seriously. Modern day panhandling live stream. What does that even mean, dude? Try to give me money, Kay. Right now, try to give me money and see what happens. Panhandling. You need a hug, buddy. And I think we're the ones to do it. So stick around. Pull up a chair. And wave your hands in the air like you just don't care, even though you do. But don't be a prude. Just go somewhere else. But just so you know, I'll be rooting for you. I'll be rooting for you when all those other ones leave you high and dry. I'll be here. I've been here all along, and I plan to be here for the rest of my life. About another 45 minutes. Running out of time. Send as much gold and money as you can, everybody. The funny thing is I have a bike somewhere in the world, and it's waiting for me. So it sort of ties. It sort of ties in with everything, Kay. Come on, Kay. Stick around, Kay. Newbies. What are you gonna do with normie newbies? Don't be a normie, everybody. It's okay to be a newbie, but don't be a normie. There's too many of them. And if you are a talented, gifted one, like the rest of us artists, you can come out of your shell now. You don't have to hide anymore. What has that ever gotten you anyways? Hiding, begging for scraps? I say out with the artists. Out into the streets. Not dancing, because that song in that music video is super annoying. If I walked outside and people were dancing in the streets everywhere I went, I'd be pretty pissed off. I wouldn't want to go walking in the streets. No, I'm talking about just walking in the streets and making art. Giving art away. Saving people's life. Drawing something and then seeing somebody falling and like throwing the art underneath them, and the art just like catches them gently and lays them on the concrete. so they don't get a concussed little noggin at the end of the day. That's all I'm talking about. You know, love and stuff, and art, and justice, and dwindling it down to those who actually can follow and adhere to the message of art and creativity. There ain't nothing like it, Kay. There ain't nothing like it. I tell you that much. Anyways. How are you doing, Blue? Looks like Thomas the Tank Engine. The drawing? Yeah? Where? I do? Or K-Dog? Hey, Nathan. How are you? Why is everybody always curious about the tattoo? Here, I'll show it to you. See? It's a little happy face with a line through the left eye because that's how Harry Tracy killed himself in a cornfield. And there's wings on it, and it's an amalgamation of like 3 different bands that I was in when I was in my 20s and 30s. That's it. And then the dot in the middle is for the third eye, because I like to think outside the box and, you know, try to be as original and a unique little snowflake as I can be. Just to entertain, just to gather the knowledge so I can entertain better or worse. Oh, golly gosh darn dang. You should know that by now, though. Come on now. Hey, this isn't your first rodeo. Looks like a Thomas... Oh, the tattoo. Oh, it kind of does. Jeez, I never even thought about that. That's funny. Yeah. It definitely has the little smile. I only have 2 tattoos. I'll show you the other one. Hold on. Oh, you just opened up a can of worms. I don't know if I can actually... Ow. Where is it? There it is. You can kind of see it. Ow. Hold on. Hold, just one. Give me 1 sec. Stop yelling. Don't. Ow, that hurt. Yeah, it's just an eyeball with the tear coming off the end of it. My brother he was on leave. No, he was out of the army by then. But it was, I think it was February of it was December of, probably January of 98. My brother's got a bunch of sleeves and neck shit, fuck. And he took me into this tattoo parlor, and I had drawn like a little eyeball with like a teardrop coming off the bottom, you know, like just like a ball with a drip coming off the center of the bottom. And I took it in there. I sketched it out in the car before I went in there. And I just turned 18 like a month before that. So my brother was like, let's go get a tattoo. I'm like, okay. I don't care. I don't really care about tattoos on me anyways. I think other people getting them is great. But, yeah. I go in there and the guy's like, I can't draw this. I can't draw this. It wouldn't make any sense. And so he ended up drawing like a more almond-shaped eye with the tear coming off like one side. You know, it's just... And I settled for like my first tattoo. I drew like a stupid little design for it, and he said he couldn't do it. And I'm looking on his walls, and there's like 5,000 little drawings everywhere, and I'm like, you can't do this, you know. And I think that was the first time I ever felt, I ever felt or realized that I was a genius. That stupid, a dumb genius, anyways. Even if I was smart, I wouldn't know what to do with it. But yeah, besides like an India ink like dot I did right here, like a stoner dot when I was like 15 or something like that. And then on my chest, I carved a triangle into my chest when I was drunk one night with a scalpel. I used to just mark my body up all the time. But, you know, you shouldn't do that. You should respect your body. I certainly didn't. I don't. And that nowadays I think about it. I'm like, God dang. It would have been cool if I didn't think I could fly, and I attempted to jump off bridges and into buildings and off trees, and I don't understand. I mean, now I understand like my back pain and stuff like that now that I'm older. But at the time, I was just like, I'm gonna die any day, any day now. And then one day you wake up and you're 45 and you're like, God dang, why does my back hurt? Oh my gosh. Maybe from jumping, leaping. And it just gets better every day, I tell you that much. Every stinking day. Every crotch rotten day. Some water. Just give me some water, I'll be fine. It's bubbly. Whew. Sorry, I'm ignoring the messages. Hey, Nancy. Well, yeah. Service, Mervis. I support the troops. I can't stand. I don't like there's just certain things I have. I didn't go into the military because I have an aversion to war and authority. But I certainly respect those that do. But, we all have our opinions and stuff, that's the thing. But I feel like there's certain things we can come together on, right? And one of them is, like, that they don't support the troops enough when they come back. They don't. And it's a shame. Like, generations upon generations of soldiers have come back just absolutely in pieces. And they don't get the help that they need soon enough. And I feel like they should just get everything for free after they're done, serving, or especially going to war and stuff, but serving too. I think they should get free healthcare for the rest of their fucking lives. Why not? And I mean, the VA is supposed to be helped like that, but how often do you hear that the VA isn't treating them right? And it's despicable how we treat our people, But it's also despicable what they go to war for. For these greedy folk. But in other news, water is wet. Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna read some of these comments. I'm sorry. Looks like Thomas the Tank, the tattoo. Hey, recluse. Let's see. Hey, tried to gatekeep. I didn't know you were love, brother. What's up, Storie Grubb and fellow grubbers? How you doing, man? Oh gosh, I can never remember your name. Asa? Alana? Hi. And then Yancy, say hi, Storie. Gotta crawl back to my carpet box for the night. Well, you be careful out there. Kinda like Lemony Snicket, the random eye tattoo. You're doing it already. Oh. What's happening here? Hello, identity. Youth is wasted on the youth. We are getting the lore. I understand that even more. Now I are in a beautiful saying. Lizard for the sake of mental. I agree on that whole war machine aspects. And that's the thing. I mean, I'm not trying to get all... It's not even political. It shouldn't be political. But everything turns into politics. Well, it's like, you sound like this person, or you look like that. It's just like, what? Okay, I sound like somebody, or I look like somebody. Can we just, like, agree on these things and then hate each other later? Can we at least make sure that our basic needs are met? And then we can go on bickering about all sorts of stuff once we're all, like, healthy and we're living in a just society together. Then we can find out what we really have to complain about. And, like, who's really to blame and, like, why. Anyways, yeah. I'm just one of them big picture people. Sorry, I'm not trying to get all stupid. But actually, our boys and green vets need exactly. Okay, cool. Grubbed for. I don't think so. I can't even. it's a strange world when you wake up and you realize that there are people that just want to watch it all burn, and they come on to chat into chat rooms like this sometimes, and they just say stupid, arbitrary crap that doesn't make any difference, and they try to get a rise out of whoever they can. And once they realize they can't, they have no power, they just like off and they just leave. Some of the cool ones stay and have actually become like my friends and stuff, or they stick around. But just like in real life, I mean, it's just like real life, because there's people always out there just trying to manipulate and use you and take advantage of you. Like all of these stupid platforms are geared towards, just manipulation and brainwashing everybody, because it like the algorithm or whatever, the more you use it, the more it reads you and knows what to feed you. And I just wonder what the breaking point is, or what something's got to give, before we're just I mean, the amount of years that we're just happy and like cool with the scraps, that I keep saying this, but just freaking scraps that we get. And every day more and more things are taken away from us. And you might think it's cool now, but you're not going to like it when it affects you and your family, or you and your people, or you and your party, whatever the hell it is, because all that shit comes back to bite us all in the end. And it's just going to get worse, because we're running out of resources. The population of the earth is skyrocketing, and nobody's talking about it. We passed the level of like, so what the scientists have called like the point of no return, essentially, with climate and all this other shit that's going on. I mean, it's just a matter of time before something and it's if you look around, it's by design. And it's just profit, money, ratings. Look at me, bullshit. Or look over here while they do this over there, while they take your future from you. They're just distracting you over here with these little puppet shows and shit. That's all it is. Except, when the puppet show comes to your town, then you won't be laughing anymore. That's the thing. Because it wasn't a funny puppet show to begin with. There was no story. There's no humor, no jokes, really. They're just outdated jokes. And oh yeah, we were talking about... Right, yeah. Okay. So, that's my 2 cents anyways. I think if I was a clown, that's what I'd be called. Hi, I'm 2 cents. The clowns don't talk. What do they? I don't think they should. He's confused. Hello, Thatch. That's the scary part. It seems to have no consequences, and I am confused. And I have no problem admitting that. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. A fine ending to one of the best albums ever made. Ever. Said I. The jerk in the tie. The necktie. All the world is a stage. It is. But a stage ain't nothing without an audience. And people forget that there's actually an audience there. When life is a stage, well, then you're acting on a stage. But if you're acting on a stage, that means usually there's an audience, and those are like the innocent people, or the people that you can manipulate, or the people that manipulate you, or vice versa, all the time anyways. We're all doing it to each other anyways. It's kind of gross. It's like pulling the wings off flies. But not as gruesome. Yeah. Because we're all used to it. Anyways. But that's why I like to draw so much too, because it gives me an excuse to express these random weird ass thoughts. They're not even that weird anyways. My TED Talk. No. That's the worst thing I could do. The worst thing. Because in an hour, I'm going to be like, oh, why did I say all that stuff? I don't mean any of it. I was just lambasting. No, I'm just kidding. Nah. People know, everybody knows this, that what I'm saying. It's nothing new. And people feel there's a I don't know. It seems like people are catching on. But there's just so many distractions. And that's the point too. So much confusion in a world of endless information. Endless, infinite information at our fingertips. And there's just mass confusion. I mean, that can't be an accident. And there's just this clanging on for like violence and destruction, and people just get off on it. It's insane. Not that I don't like watching horror movies or playing violent video games and stuff too. I'm not trying to sound like a absolute hypocrite. But you know, there's a difference. There's a line, I think, you know. And obviously, physical violence is what I'm mainly talking about. Just like war, mayhem, like that. Just hurts you after a while. Thinking about it so much. But I guess that's why it's important to try to put good vibes back out into the world too. It really needs it. Wasn't expecting to talk like this tonight. I'm sorry. I am confused. It's true. And what a time to be confused. It's almost 8:30. What a time. What a time to be alive. Yeah, it's almost 8:15. Yeah, right on. What a time. PM. PM. Yeah. Right. No? Okay. No? Okay. The world is full. Wait, I missed some comments. I'm sorry, guys. Guitar in the middle. That'd be funny. The world is full of evil at this point. I'm just trying to focus. Well, yeah, and I mean, yeah, and I get that. It's always been full of what I'm referring to. But you know, it's one of those things as well that just because I call attention to something doesn't mean that I'm ignoring the other things. Just like when, you know, it's just that sometimes it gets overwhelming. But it's not like the bad or whatever that I feel totally diminishes the good that I know is in the world as well. Because I see that every day too. There's good things happening all over the place. People baking bread, peeing in soup, going out into orchards and picking oranges, throwing them at each other, at cars with their windows down, trying to create car wrecks and pileups and stuff. You know, the American dream kind of stuff. Peeing in the soup. Those were the days. That was the best summer of my life. That was the peeing in the soup summer of 1969. Me and my friends were a bunch of rascals. Oh. Oh, the fan went off outside. Now it's really quiet. Now we gotta keep it down. I'd say in the end, we're here to make the most of what there's left for us. I agree. It can still be a beautiful life, yes. It sure does get overwhelming. I like the glasses half full analogy. I just I can't ignore the I can't get certain things out of my head. I just can't, and it really affects my my mood. My mood. What do you call it? Mood swing. But like I said, it's sort of I guess it's sort of a manic thing, right? Where you're kind of tied up in knots 1 second, and then within minutes sometimes, or regardless of how long, you just all of a sudden you're just like, wait a second, I'm not feeling like that anymore. I go through several of those things like a day, where I just get in these like weird states of mind, and then all of a sudden it's like I just come out of it like it was a fog, like a song comes on the radio and just brings me back to life or something, resuscitates me. That's the power of music and art and everything too, right there, full circle. I like art. Art really makes me happy. Yeah, I like music too because you can bop your head in your hand while you're making art. That's why I make like super abstract art, depending on the music that I'm listening to. If I'm listening to classical, it's more like and then punk rock or something, it's like stupid, stupid. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down anyway, so I don't have to go into that much detail. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna head out, guys, because I have nothing interesting to say. How's how have I been lately? I think you're hearing it right now, kid. We are surrounded. Yeah. Keep a positive attitude. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta find ways to kind of, I guess it'd be sort of like in that movie Inception where they have those little tokens or something like that. Things that kind of snap you back, which, like I said, isn't very difficult a lot of the time because all I have to do is think about people that I know and the people that have helped me in situations or whatever that I was where I was hurting or something, and I didn't think anybody cared or something, and these people just came out of nowhere and just would help. Sometimes strangers, sometimes people that you've known for years, and it kind of surprises you because you get so used to looking at humanity. I don't know. I'm speaking for myself, anyways. Looking at humanity as like this whole kind of thing, this kind of just big ass crowd of people that all thinks, does, and says all the same stuff all the time. Like, if anybody's worked customer service, you know exactly what I'm talking about. People think they're so freaking different and think they're so funny, but they all have the same jokes. They all do the same things at the counter. They all ask the same questions. They all are rude. Everybody has so much in common. They just don't know. But I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Yeah. And I think you know too. And now, if you didn't, now you do. Now you know. Anyway, yeah. The art club round table sounds cool. White panel van that says free tunes. Well, I'd have to charge for the tunes. It could be called the tune up. It'd be called free tunes for a tune up. That doesn't. There's something there. There is something there. I just wasn't quick enough. I wasn't quick on the draw. Damn it. Hmm? But anyways, yeah. Let's see. The recluse. Yes, people are. I think that'd be. I'm impatient too. That's the thing. I'm the most impatient person I've ever lived in. Side of this me. I have no patience at all. for example, if I get a big ass bag of like peanut M&Ms, or yeah, just peanut M&Ms, not peanut butter. Yeah, peanut M&Ms. I I'll like grab a handful of it, put it in a little cup, and go to my room and eat it. But then like uh, that fog thing happens again, where I'm like missing time, and then all of a sudden I look down and I'm like down to the last three in like this big 5 pound bag of them, and I'm like, what the hell just, oh my god. Because it was like I was abducted by the peanut M&M aliens or something. I don't know. They are good though. I mean, they're pretty damn good. They are pretty good. Um, and it is just like that. It's a brain fog in which you come out with diabetes. Diabetes. Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Let's see. People are impatient. Yeah, that's right. I know. I'm impatient. You know, I'm probably the most impatient person that I've ever lived inside. We just did this. Yeah, 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 yeah. The cue card. No, these are these are different cue cards than what we're doing. No, we're not doing those. Give me that. Damn it. Damn it. We just did that. Oh, I know. I'm telling you, and you're thinking that I'm making this up, but here it is, right here. Yeah, yeah. Ever lived inside of. It gets annoying in here. Yeah, in here, my brain. Yeah. So just next card, please. Jeez. It's like I'm running a clown college here or something like that. I mean, it's a bunch of monkeys, but they should know their job by now. Stupid ass. God, hold it up. Yeah, there you go. So, how is everyone doing tonight? My poop doesn't stick to walls. You son of a... Who wrote this? The monkeys. My poop sticks to walls. Look over there. It's right there. Yeah, it looks great. Doesn't slide or nothing. No. Seriously, that trick that you taught me. Yeah, it thickens it up. Yeah. It's like what do you call it? Plaster or something, like some kind of plaster. Yeah. It doesn't even drip. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, everybody. I got distracted by the monkeys. Disposable gives peanut. You're not getting your chocolate milk. Oh. Well, they're not making it easy because, you know, they complain that my poop doesn't stick to the walls when it does. And so when Terry comes down here, he sees all the poop on the walls, and there's no monkeys at all. And so he thinks it was all me, and it probably was. I'm not sure if there's monkeys or not. I've been here for so freaking long. It's great. Other than that, things are going great. It's fine. We're good. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have enough chocolate milk. It's warm and rotten, really. But I have a few gallons left. And I'm kind of, don't tell Terry this, but I have some in the closet. It's really good stuff. It's fermented. I get really high. I get kind of drunk off this rotten chocolate milk. It's disgusting. It's finally starting to kick in after 2 hours. Okay, it takes a while. Let's see. The voices. I think he might. Very living creature in the hole. Key waterworks. Oh, I'm much better now. That's how it feels being in love. It's true. That's what being in love feels like. All that shit. It's so freaking cool. It's so messed up. It's pretty crazy and awesome. I freaking love it. What happened? Chapter 1. A prince was born. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little boy, and his name was Ferdinand. Hello, Ferdinand. He's wanting to smell a butterfly. All the other little boys he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. It's very true. Those little buggers. Those ones in the back are really buggering around him. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. There he is, just smelling them flowers. Getting smacked and punched when you think you're being funny, but he had a favorite spot out in the pasture. Under a cork tree. Like I was saying the other day, when I lived in Davis, I was in the 2nd and 3rd grade. We lived in these apartment complexes, and they had cork trees. I knew what cork trees were because of Ferdinand, so I went up, and you can touch the cork trees, and they feel like a big taste. They taste like a big cork. Yeah, cork trees are cool. Corky. They're kind of corky. Yeah, they got corks. There's, corks fall off, and that's where we get corks. They grow them and they fall off. It's just corky. I like saying Cork. I'm from County Cork. My family is, anyways. Yeah. But they don't find it as funny. Yeah, love is a crazy thing. Kind of just like what kind of, I guess it's left over from in our DNA from, we have to like learn how to care for each other in order to survive. We'd have to come together, love, I'm sure, was some kind of self, defense, survival thing back in the day for us, and which is kind of a cool thing to think about, like there's a cool song on Hedwig and the Angry Inch called The Origin of Love. But, the origins of love is an interesting idea too. Like the beginnings of it, like the first person, because there was, I know it would be, evolution doesn't work like this, but, imagine just like the first time somebody was just like, oh, I'm in love with this hairy humanoid thing over here. And what that must have felt like. So, I don't know. I always think about our ancestors and what they must have felt, and like what they went through, and what do we have in common with them? Because I draw, being an artist also means that we can, or should, know where we come from. And we come from a long line of weirdos and wonderful, artistic, creative beings all throughout time. And a lot of the time they changed the course of history. Artists, at least culture. But I'm thinking about cave walls and stuff where they could teach people how to hunt by like drawing things on this thing and describing it, and or like remembering things or epics and painting their hands on the walls, and to let us know that they were there, that they existed. Which is why, in a way, I think I make art. Just so long after I'm gone, people are gonna be like, damn, this guy existed. This person existed. But I also want people to know that I existed. I don't care if I'm rich or I wish I was rich. Money, money, money. In that order. But, at the end of the day, you can't take money with you. But you can leave something behind. And that's what I've been doing all my life. Everywhere I go, anytime I see some kind of like statue or like some kind of humanoid thing, I take a marker with me and I add armpit hair to them. That's my life's work. I add armpit hair to every single Greek, Roman, every statue I've ever seen in my mannequin at Sears. All of them. Every single one I can find. That's my calling to the next generation of artists. That's how important my legacy is. Armpit hair. It's really cool. Honestly, you won't be for. I hope. I don't. That's the thing. I could be, but I hope not. I think some people don't care. Some people don't want to be remembered, or they want to be remembered for horrible things. Especially these days. Fuck. I want to be remembered for making people think about art more and how important and how much it can help them. And to not be afraid of what you make if you make art. If you make dark things with it. Don't be afraid of the darkness. You gotta embrace it. And then you gotta use it against itself. And then watch what happens to your life. And then watch what happens to your art. It'll get better, is my point. It's all about integration with yourself. Or at least trying. I think. At any rate. Hello, vegan. Aaron. Trying to read all the comments, I'm sorry. Let them eat cookie. I thought for a second there, I thought that said, let them eat cookie. Never asked for anything more besides your attention, your aunt. I found it quite enjoyable. Hey, thank you, sweetie. Love is a love is a battlefield. And maybe sometimes it's too, it's like also I've always been sort of, kind of on the deep side of things, even when I was a kid. And not the deep side, but I thought about big things when I was young, and I think I always say this on my channel, but I just assumed all the other kids were thinking the same kind of stuff I was, But I was always thinking like big picture stuff and the universe, and I would spend hours. I grew up out in the country, where there's no like light pollution in Northern California, and I would go out there and just look at the stars for hours, just scouring them, for life, or just hoping that I would be taken away by a UFO or something. But imagining what that was like, and believing in things like really heavily, like supernatural things, and way, well into my teenage years, I was convinced that the world was magical, and people used magic, and were it's weird. And sometimes I think I still do. I think there's some that can, anyways. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. Just watch your back. They're out there. They're called art historians. Watch your back, artists. They're going to erase your existence. The art historians. I did a Matrix parody last year too, and in it I played an agent, and I think they are like the art historians in that story. And like Neo is my version of Neo is like this like artist dude, um, who uses the power of art to defeat the agents in the end and stuff. It's rather silly, but it's funny. If you like the Matrix, um, there's a few scenes from the Matrix that I really focused on, and they're stupid, but you should watch it and send me gold. Send me gold. I'll take a check, cashier's check. Just post date it next Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you in advance, everybody. Did you illustrate that book? No, Ferdinand. No, but this was the first book I ever like owned, like I ever picked out for myself. And I've been saying this a lot the last few days, but I found it in a bookstore in Utah, and I liked it because of the art. And I was probably like 4 years old. Yeah, I must have been like 4 or 5 years old. And it was like the first book I ever got to pick out for myself that I can remember, anyways. And I loved the art. I was absolutely blown away by the art in it. I mean, look at the bee. I think it's from 1930. Copyright 1936. Yeah, so it was first made in 1936. I don't know what print this is. I don't even know if it says that. It's in good condition too for having it for almost 40 years. But I'm convinced that like actually that this, besides that the fact that art, drawing and stuff especially, ran in my family, the art in this I think really inspired my little brain, and at least got me from a very early age to appreciate illustration and skill, the skill of like what a pen could actually do, because the art in this is absolutely incredible. I've always been the artist's name is Robert Lawson. He did a lot of stuff actually, and this book is by Monroe Leaf. I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong, but I've always liked it, and I think Elliott Smith has a tattoo of Ferdinand on his arm. I think he has. Oh, I think he might have this one. He might have this on his arm. Maybe. I know I saw a Ferdinand on his arm. Anyways, sorry. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, y'all should go and support somebody else's channel, and I'll head out because I'm just thinking too much, and all that jazz. So appreciate the company. Appreciate the kindness. Let's see. Sorry, I'll read some of these comments really quick. I have to put my cat. Oh, geez, vegan. I'm sorry, man. Oh, cool. I mean, cool about the puppy. Yeah, life is strange. I'm sorry about your kitty. Right there with you, angler. Well, your art becomes violent because that's what you're letting out. I feel like it's like tapping into a vein or something. I always say, or a frequency or something. And sometimes you've got to let it happen. You just got to let it out. And that's exactly what I was talking about. The things I used to draw when I was a kid, and just the way that I used to put it down and stuff was just, I feel like you have to kind of just do all these different things, and then finally you'll just like, whittle yourself down into like you'll to your own style. You'll have your own style, or you know what I mean. You'll have. I don't know how to put it. It's like putting the two halves together, even though there's like more parts to us than just two. I think it's just a thing. I don't know. Just try it. Just let it out. Let it out. That's what art's all about. Let it out. Let it out. That's what art is all about. Mm-hmm. Let's They're fun. They're fun. They're fun. What's fun, Pastor? The whole thing for us next live. The whole Ferdinand, yeah. I've only been on 55 minutes. I could read around. No, I gotta run. Thanks, Angler. You have a good night. I wish I could get better, more, I'll have to get better light so I can actually focus on it, you know? Merry Christmas to you too, Blue. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you, darling. Hi, Shadow. Gotta run. Later, Pastor, and everybody. Have a wonderful night. And may the spirit of Christmas find you well. And yours.